There's some things I really can't stand.
Like what?
Well, I don't like rap because the voice is always the same.
He called one of the world's biggest bands the most overrated group in the history of popular music.
I've had very few experiences, but they have been bad, yes, and they were a very long time ago. And it's not something that I would like to...
And that was just the beginning. Morrissey, the self-proclaimed Pope of Mope, never played nice. While other artists gave polite, politically correct answers, he went straight for the jugular, tearing into pop stars, rock icons, and even his own Manchester neighbors. For decades, his brutal honesty made him both a legend and a lightning rod for controversy. Let's dive into some of Morrissey's most savage feuds, the ones that shook the music world and proved that his tongue could cut deeper than any guitar riff. At number 6, Duran Duran. In the early 80s, they were the glamorous kings of pop, yachts, supermodels, and screaming fans. But to Morrissey, they represented everything wrong with music. He called them the acceptable face of fascism and said they made him physically sick. While Duran Duran flaunted fame and luxury, Morrissey saw himself as the voice of the lonely and misunderstood. Two opposite worlds, and only one could rule British pop. Next up, Wham! George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley were all smiles, bright colors, and dance hits like Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. But Morrissey hated everything they stood for.
I think it's perhaps the most least attractive track. I don't know, I can't explain it. It just didn't really strike me that much.
He called them ridiculous and said their songs were an insult to intelligence. For him, Wham! Represented a shallow, happy-go-lucky Briton that ignored real emotion, something he'd built his career on exploring. At number 4, Madonna. Morrissey's feud with the queen of pop was one for the ages. He once described her as the closest thing to organized prostitution in music. He saw her as the ultimate symbol of fame without substance, a master marketer more interested in shock value than artistry. While Madonna was breaking boundaries and owning the spotlight, Morrissey mocked her as embarrassing to humanity. Brutal words, even for him. Number 3, The Cure. You'd think two gloomy geniuses like Morrissey and Robert Smith would get along. Wrong. Morrissey accused The Cure of being a parody of depression, while Smith called the Smiths boring and pretentious. Fans took sides, and the feud became a defining rivalry of 80s alternative music. Both men wore sadness like a badge of honor, but only one could be the true king of melancholy. At number 2, Blur. By the time Britpop exploded in the 90s, Morrissey was already an icon, and he wasn't impressed by the new generation. He called Blur mediocre people making important music, accusing them of copying the Smith sound without understanding its soul. Damon Albarn hit back, calling Morrissey a bitter old man. And just like that, a new British music war was born. And finally, number 1, Oasis. The ultimate Manchester showdown. When Morrissey called them the most overrated band in history, Liam Gallagher fired back, calling him a boring has-been. Morrissey said Oasis had destroyed Manchester's musical reputation, while Noel Gallagher mocked his solo career. The insults flew for years, and even today, their feud remains one of rock's most iconic battles. From Duran Duran's glam to Oasis's swagger, Morrissey waged wars that defined entire eras of music. Love him or hate him, one thing's for sure, no one threw shade quite like Morrissey. This is StarLoop News, and if you love music drama, celebrity feuds, and untold stories from behind the mic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat.